Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear, episode 88. I can never remember. Episode 88. This week we're doing Q, sometimes called Q the Winged Serpent, or the Winged Serpent, however you want to pronounce it, on DVD. I've not got the Blu-ray, I've got the DVD, and it's a cool DVD. An interesting director's audio commentary on there, so that's what we're doing tonight. Is it a monster film, an action film, or is it a horror film? Take your pick. I class it as kind of a horror film because it is quite gruesome in places. Windgrace says, typical Q. Yes, not that Q. I knew Windgrace I'd have to mention. Q from Star Trek. I presume that's what you're talking about. Not Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec god. And Joshua Kanapke's here. I'm ready. Watched it on Prime last week. It's a cool film. Right, info about Q the Winged Serpent. Right. But before we get into it, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, join us in the live chat. We're live on YouTube, I'm hoping. I guess I am, because people are in the chat. and Windgrace is saying, look, he's fibbing. I meant James Bond. Yeah. Of course you did. We're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. Yes, we are. We're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Yay! We're live on Twitch. Right. Hopefully I won't get a copyright claim this time and get the bloody video blocked like I did last Monday. It's fine now, though. It's fine. It's sorted. Is Roger Rabbit from last Monday. Where were we? Drop a comment. Hit join us in the chat, etc. Later on, I'll upload it to Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. I'll plug my books. I haven't done it for a couple of weeks. Links are in the description, as are the links for my two books. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village after they've escaped from a government lab. Were they let loose? Who knows? Anyway, right. Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action-adventure about UFOs, UAPs. I say UFO. I don't know if I use the word UFO in the book at all, to be honest. I probably do. About UFOs and stuff like that. They're on Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. Right. Joshua says, speaking of Prime, there's a 2008 movie called Splinter available for a couple more days, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. Is that where it's from, like in a gas station, where it's like some weird alien, sort of like not virus, but like a parasitic organism that gets on them and makes all spikes come out and stuff? Is it that one? Oh, excuse me. I've seen it once, and yeah, it was quite good. For an indie film. Yes, the gas station. I thought it was that one. Yes, give that one a whirl. Right, so info about Q, the Winged Serpent. It was called Q, the Winged Serpent in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else. I think we just called Q on its initial release in America. Written, directed and produced by Larry Cohen, starring Michael Moriarty, David Carradine, Richard Roundtree and Candy Clark. I think that's about it for the big names. Music by Robert O. Ragland, and a pretty good score, to be completely honest. It only had a budget of $1 million. And in the lead up to this film, Larry Cohen were working on the film called I, the Jury, or something like that, or I, Jury, I can't remember. I think it's I, the Jury. And he was fired. He was fired from that film. I don't know why. He just was. So he decided to do this instead. And from in the initial, pitch, I suppose, for this film, it had a week of pre-production, then 18 days of shooting, and then that was it. And then I imagine there were a lot more time done for the special effects. But, a week of pre-production and 18 days shooting, so that's what, 25 days, and it were in the can, principal photography. That wouldn't happen these days, would it? That wouldn't happen these days. Anywho. Right, and that's about it, really. Had a budget of $1 million. I don't think it did particularly well. at the box office. It did better than I, the Jury, though. But it's kind of become a cult classic now. With some great effects, you know, for what they had available to them. Some great stop motion effects and some good miniatures. It was filmed guerrilla style mostly in and around New York, New York City, Manhattan, and all that. And the Chrysler Building, mostly. Centerpiece is the Chrysler Building. Actually filmed in the Chrysler Building and up in the top, under the needle of the Chrysler Building, which is not allowed anymore. Anyway, they wouldn't have one scene finished in less than a month these days. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Anywho. Right, so shall we just get on with it? Well, shall we just get into the film and all that stuff? Right, so I will full screen the bugger because it's going to start now. It is. I pressed the wrong button. Never mind. I'll make myself titch tiny in the corner of the screen. I can never remember which one it is. That one. Because I've got to get rid of them for the subtitles. Right. Here we go. There it is. Samuel Z. Arkoff. I always think of Flash Gordon when I see that. Presents. Is it going to... Yeah, we're off. Michael Moriarty. Where are we? Pressing the wrong button. Candy Clark. Michael Moriarty has been in a lot of stuff. I know him from this and Return to Salem's lot, which were bloody awful. I think that were a Larry Cohen film as well. Terrible film. And he's an actor that people seem to rave about, but I don't particularly like him. I don't think he's particularly good at acting. Better than me. But another one is Steve Railsback. People rave about Steve Railsback, and I'm not a big fan of his either. He's good at screaming, I suppose, but and looking crazy. Anyway, there we go. Richard Roundtree, Shaft. Doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Because he's the bad mother. There we go. Larry Cohen film, Q. And there's the other people. Bruce Carradine is David Carradine's brother. He's in it towards the end. One of his other brothers. There you go. Visual effects. David Allen and Randy Cook did the stop motion of the monster and other things. We've got some like little figures that have got Dick Jones type arms. You'll see later on. Yes. Shut your mouth. Oh dear. Peter Curran has worked in lots of things. I think probably his most famous work is on John Carpenter's The Thing. Although he's been in everywhere, every other film just about, in some capacity. Anyway, right. So let's get on with it, shall we? Here we go. Music by Robert O. Ragland. And for some reason, this gets a whole credit to itself, and you hear it on screen for about 20 seconds. It's on the bloody jukebox in a bar. But I don't know. They must have paid a lot for it. Right, anyway. Oh, my, these... hang on, where are we? Is it them two? Yeah, I think it's them two. Executive producers Dan Sandberg and Richard DeBona. I think it's these two. In the commentary, I can't remember which way around it is. One of them owned the film lab. So they got the film process for free. It basically said, you can use our facilities for free. So they give him a producer credit. And the other one essentially lent them the cameras and everything. So they got all the cameras and processing and stuff for free, which helped keep the costs down. So they got producer credits. Anyway, there we go. Written, produced, and directed by Larry Cohen. Right, here we go. By the way, this is the DVD rip, so that's why the subtitles are a bit shonky. But they've seen New York. There's the Twin Towers. Oh, bless them. We see them a bit closer up later. But if you notice, I've never really paid much attention before, even watching this film before, listening to Larry Cohen's commentary. But a lot of the buildings in New York, the tops of them, kind of look like temples, pyramids and stuff like that, which is part of the plot of the film, which is why the creature's in New York. It's been attracted by these buildings that look like temples. Anyway, we begin. This is supposed to be the Empire State Building. I don't know if it actually is filmed on the Empire State Building. I have no idea. Is it? I don't know if it's even an actual building with a fella dangling 1,000 feet in the air. I don't know. But anyway, this fella's washing the windows. Here he is. There he is, and he's waving at the woman inside. Some sort of shoe shop high up in the Empire State Building. Is that a thing? It must be. I don't know. But and handbags. But she doesn't like him, and he keeps his squeaking on the window with his squeegee, giving it all that. And she doesn't like it. Then she's on the phone saying, "That little creep's there." But as he squeaks, it drives me crazy with that squeaking. But the squeaking drowns out a shriek in a minute. There we go. Screeching screams. Ah! Then we get his first bit of gore. Oh, there's me. I used it in the in my thumbnail. Then we see, oh, he's had his head bitten off. By gum. And then we cut to, I would know it's the Empire State Building because it says it there in big letters. We cut to Richard Roundtree, and David Carradine's going to appear in a minute, getting the body down of the window cleaner. It must have taken him a long time to get between windows, because he wasn't in like a gondola. He was just like hanging on hooks, wasn't he? So how did he get to all the other windows? I don't know. That's why I'm guessing maybe that were a set or something like that on a rooftop somewhere. I don't know. But it could have even been a blue screen. There is some blue screen work in this, but not much. Anyway, so here we go. Here's Richard Roundtree and David Carradine. They're cops. Richard Roundtree plays, oddly enough, he plays a character called Sergeant Powell. It could be Al Powell for all I know, from Die Hard. So maybe Die Hard named their Sergeant Powell after the Richard Roundtree character in Q, the Winged Serpent. I don't know. And John Carradine plays, I don't know, Detective Shepherd. I don't know if it ever says what his rank is. I don't know, but anywho, they're on the case, and Richard Roundtree's looking for the head, and David Carradine says, there won't be much left of it. Have you ever dropped a cantaloupe from 40 stories? So, they don't know where the head is. Obviously, we know what's happened to the head, but they don't. And David Carradine suggests that, maybe something fell from above, some glass from a broken window. And said, they've checked, there's no broken windows, nothing could have fallen. Says, I don't know, maybe his head just fell off. Then we cut to a Chinese restaurant, and then we see one of the chefs carefully cutting up this, I presume it's duck, cutting up this duck, which we'll see, it fits in with the film, the way he's cutting up the duck, because we see somebody else we see somebody getting cut up in a similar manner, but not with a big cleaver, shortly. Anyway, these are all crooks. There's Michael Moriarty. It is Michael, isn't it? Yes. Is it? I got all mixed up then. Yes, Michael Moriarty. He plays Jimmy Quinn, who's a small-time crook, a wheelman, and they're talking about a diamond heist they're going to do, and he's saying, I'm just the driver, I don't carry a piece, I don't go in, and I want 20%, and they're telling me getting 12.5. And because they don't have much respect for him, they fill him with disdain. Anyway, so he says he'll think about it, about this job that they're going to do. Says I'll think about it. I agree, by the way, says Joshua. I do not know why Moriarty has such a reputation. I don't know. But I've not seen much that he's been in. But the few things I've seen him in, I don't particularly rate him. And he's kind of got this, this 1,000-yard stare, as though he's not focusing on anything. He's like, he looks through things, if you particularly in this film. But anywho. He's been in a TV series. Is it Law and Order? He was in that, wasn't he? But I've never seen that, so I don't know. He could have been amazing in that. Did he won an Emmy or something for that, apparently? Or got nominated. Anyway, he tells these guys, he'll think about it. So while he's thinking about it, we cut to A maid coming into a hotel room. But this was filmed in quite a few hotel rooms because obviously the crew stayed in hotel rooms, particularly the Mayflower Hotel, and they essentially filmed a lot of scenes there. Because the Mayflower Hotel, at the time, it's not there anymore, apparently. It's been replaced with condos. But at the time, the Mayflower Hotel, gave like discounts and stuff for film crews and allowed them to film there as well. So that's what they did. As she comes in, she finds, a skin. Even though it looks burnt, it's supposed to have just been skinned, but it looks burned. And then we get a cameo from Laddie Franco himself in a minute, taking the photos. Are we going to see him? Oh no, have we missed him already? Bloody hell. Must have been quick if the skip missed him. I'm going to show. There he is. That's Laddie Franco. Looks like he's wearing a bloody Michael Myers mask, doesn't it? Is that all we're going to see of him? We'll get another look. Nope, that's it. Behind the camera, that's Laddie Franco. Right, so they found this flayed body, how they describe it. It's been flayed alive. And then it shows a flashback to how it happened, I presume. There we go, showing it happening. And then Powell is putting the connections together already, saying, yesterday with a window washer, today we've got a skinned person, even though it looks as though it looks like he's been marinated, doesn't it? Or is it marinated? Whatever. Looks like a lump of chicken tikka. Anyway, there you go. And then we cut to a helicopter. There's quite a few helicopter shots in this. I think before principal photography, Laddie Cohen went up in a helicopter, rented the helicopter or whatever, went round and took lots of establishing shots of New York City, focusing on the temple-like rooftops and stuff like that. But the previous scene, when they were talking about the fella losing his head, he said, now we've got a man flayed, and yesterday we had somebody whose head floated away like a balloon, and then we cut to this shot of the helicopter shot, and we actually see a balloon. And they didn't know that balloon were there. As they were doing the filming, they saw this red balloon floating by, and Laddie Cohen says, we'll have to get that, just follow that balloon. And I presume the scene that we've just seen were written after this, so they could use this shot. So they follow this red balloon. But it's also used because it's like as a special effects shot, because we see part of the monster fly by in a minute. There it is, look, there it goes. A quick glimpse. Got to be careful here now, because there's a lady gets her boobies out, so I'm going to have to be quick here. This young lady, played by, I can tell you in a minute, Bobby Burns, Bobbi, Bobby Burns, is going to sunbathe on the rooftop, and a creepy fella is going to watch her through his telescope or his binoculars or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, so off she goes onto the rooftop with some music playing. So I'm going to have to be quick here, aren't I? Ooh. Hey, get, ooh, crikey. So this creepy fella's watching through his 18th century telescope that he's got from his admiral grandfather or whatever it is. So he's watching her and he's all excited and he's going, "Ooh, yeah, come on, take that, take your clothes off and stuff like that." But he also sees something he's not expecting. Here we go, more helicopter shots. Getting the money's worth. Here we go, another glimpse of Q, the Winged Serpent. Gonna grab her, take her away. Look, and he's like, what the? And she's gone, just bloody things left behind. Then we cut to the streets. People are being dripped in blood. Oh no, what's going on? Blood is dropping on them, and it shows us the sun. Apparently, it's flying in the sun for everybody. That's why nobody can see it, because it's in the sun. somehow. Don't ask, don't ask. And Josh Temple's here, never fear, Maddie's here, harpoon at the ready. Made it just in time to see your nude film. I was as quick as I could be, And the council is convened. Dear. I just hope YouTube doesn't notice. Maybe we're quick enough that they won't take action. I better check, Anta. Make sure we're still okay. We seem to be. Yeah, we are. I think I'll be fine. I was quick. Anyway, this fella, he gets dripped in blood as well. Oh, gee. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, blow me number. There you go. Here it goes. It looks familiar, and I can't think who it might be. It'll just be a passerby, maybe. Thought, we'll drip some blood at this fella. Can we drip some blood on you? Yeah, and look up and pretend there's a monster up there, maybe. It's like if you ordered Dustin Hoffman from Wish, you get that fella. Pigeons flying away. Right, so next scene. Jimmy's going into a bar. Remember, he's thinking about this job that he's being offered, this diamond heist. But he wants to get, a legit job, really. By the way, Moriarty was the family man in Pale Rider. Love that movie. I've not seen that for a long time, so it could have been good in that. It's good as Pale Rider, isn't it? But it's been a while since I've seen that. Where were we? All right, goes into this bar. Oh, and he says, we're not open till 6, but yet David Carradine walks in at 1 minute's time. So maybe it's 1 minute to 6, I don't know. But and he serves him. Maybe it's just because he's a copper, I don't know. Anyway, he says, I'm not here for a drink. I understand you're looking for a musician. I can play the piano a bit. And he's asking, where did you hear that? And it turns out his girlfriend works there. There she is. There's Candy Clark as, what's she called? Joan. And me. She's been in a million things as well. He's obviously heard from her, but he's not letting on. So he goes and starts playing the piano. Better than I can play piano, but it's still not great. It's like scat, sort of boom, 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 doo, 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 doo. That's what he's playing it like. In fact, I'll just play a little bit because. Go away, evil dream. That sort of stuff, which doesn't impress them. It doesn't impress the owner. That even the dog growls. Apparently, as I said, they were all filmed on location. Apparently, that dog was actually, the bar's dog. Maybe it did growl on command. I don't know. Here comes David Carradine. He comes in and sits down, and they're asking about. He's asking him there. The bartender's asking him about the. I hear somebody, got the head bitten off. Have you found that head? And he's, it'll turn up. But anyway, sing scat. Oh dear. Didn't impress me either. No, it's not the best. It doesn't impress the bartender either. Look, it puts the jukebox on, which is where we hear the song that's got a whole credit at the beginning of the film. Anyway, there you go. Puts that song on. And says, never mind, and I've got another job anyway. So off he goes. And, for God's sake. David Carradine says, sounded good to me. Something like that. There you go. Sounded okay to me. And Jimmy, just, tells him to F off. So there you go. He says, yeah, what do I know? Right, so, there we see some police. Quite a lot of actual policemen in this film, by the way. Is he on Spotify? Oh dear. Anyway, so they're getting ready to do the heist at Neil's Diamonds, which is the name of the place that they're going to hold up. And they give him a gun. He says, I don't go in. I don't carry a piece. What are you doing? And there he goes, equal share, take equal chance. So they make him go in. They take the keys to the car. So they're going in there. They go, Neil Diamonds. And lots of diamond places on here. I bet there's loads of robberies on here. It's New York in the early 80s after all. Anyway, And God knows what happens inside. We don't see. We just hear a bit of a commotion. I'm going to get any subtitles. I don't know. We hear a bit of a commotion. Then we go, oh, what the hell is that? Breaking glass, gunshots. And then Jimmy just walks out with a pouch apparently filled with, I think, $75,000 worth of diamonds, apparently. So he walks to the car, no keys. So he kind of panics and scurries away. But where's everybody else? Have they all just run out the back door? I had no idea. Because we come across them again later. Well, two of them. So, he scurries away and then gets run over gets clipped by a taxi. Looks like a taxi. And the jewels, the diamonds go flying across the road into the middle of New York traffic. And so he panics and he runs off. Why? Oh, right, yeah. I was going to say, why is that going into Spanish? But I think it's this fella that's coming to help him. He's talking to him in Spanish. Probably a genuine passerby. As I said, a lot of guerrilla filmmaking in this, where they just had people walking through New York streets, and Dretch Tigers here saying you. So he's probably a genuine passerby, seeing if he's all right. Bless him. He's offering to call him an ambulance. Anyway, saying, "Where's my bag?" So he's lost his bag. So he thinks, right. So he goes through New York streets, actual streets. They're just walking through them. And he's heading for a phone booth. There we are. Thankfully, Superman's not changing inside it. He's calling his lawyer. That's what he's doing. His lawyer, who happens to have offices in the Chrysler building. Anyways, his lawyer's in a meeting. He says, well, tell him Jimmy Quinn's on his way. And tell him not to go to lunch or anything. So off he goes to the Chrysler building. There we go. The Chrysler building. Laddie Cohen said he wanted to use the Chrysler building because he thinks it's the most beautiful, skyscraper in New York. It probably is, to be completely honest. And he says, the Empire State Building got its film with King Kong, and he said he wanted the Chrysler Building to have its own monster movie. And he's a bit sore at 1998 Godzilla because that destroyed the Chrysler Building, didn't it? Godzilla took the top off. And he accuses Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich of basically ripping this film off for their Godzilla film, which it kind of does, particularly at the end. But anyway, right, so up he goes into the Chrysler building, to his lawyer's offices. Hang on. There you go. And he's knocking on the door, nobody answering. He tries the door, and it sets off an alarm or a buzzer at the security desk. There we go, alarm bell. So he thinks, oh, God, no, he's having a bad day, going from bad to worse. So he heads upstairs. There we go, tower elevator. He heads upstairs. Apparently, back in 1981 when it was filmed, I think it was June 1981, I've got it written down somewhere. I've actually got notes this week in the form of a notepad. Where have I seen it? I don't know where I've seen it. I think it was June in 1981 it filmed. They went to the Chrysler because they wanted to use the Chrysler building. Apparently the building or the company that owned it were almost bankrupt. So Larry Cohen's, the production company, paid $18,000, which the owners of the Chrysler building were grateful to receive, so that they could film inside the Chrysler building. So a lot of these shots that you see are actually inside the Chrysler building. They were only supposed to go up so far and film, basically to the, I don't know what they call it, the landing or whatever, below the needle. But actually went higher up than they were supposed to, but didn't bother telling them. There was some other scenes as well where I think we're on like construction sites. There's some scenes on construction sites where they had to get extra insurance, and the insurance chap for the film were just like filling out insurance forms, like there and then. Anyway. Right, so it gets chased up these stairs, up into the Chrysler. This is actually inside the Chrysler building, is this? It looks like a proper dump. How's that building not fallen down? I don't know, but this is actually inside the Chrysler building. They were only supposed to go this far up and no further, but it actually goes higher up. Josh could say, I wonder how close the Chrysler building came to be mob-owned. I have no idea, What's your view on Andrew Tate? Why are you asking me that? What's that going to do with anything? How bizarre. But thank you for the comment, Top G. Anyway, so he's running away from this security guard. There you go. How is it not fallen down? I don't know, but he goes higher up. He sees a ladder leading up, so he goes climbing up, and he says, I'm scared of everything in the world, but I've never been scared of heights. So up he goes. Actually up into the Chrysler building, and that's get quite close to the edge as well. And there's no, according to Larry Franco, there's no guardrails or anything. If you fell out, that were it. 80 stories down. It looked quite scary. Then they shouldn't have drawn a line here. Oh, another one. What year was this movie made? Well, it was released in 82. I think it was shot in 81. I imagine the effects took longer than the shooting of the film. What they call it, principal to photography. But principal photography were 18 days. But I imagine the stop motion animation and adding the effects and stuff took longer. Thank you, Enormous Tits. Got to say that carefully, haven't we? Anyway, while they were shooting up here, there's quite a lot of scenes actually up here in the whatever they call it. What they call it? Parapet? I don't know what they call it, of the Chrysler building. And Larry Franco said, was it Larry Cohen? Larry Cohen or Larry Franco? I bloody forgot already. Larry Cohen. Why did I say Larry Franco? That's somebody else, isn't it? Larry Cohen said he had a chap that he basically hired just to hold on to his belt so he didn't fall out. Obviously, didn't care about anybody else. He was bothered about him not falling out. Because he said he was so preoccupied with doing everything to do with the film, he was scared he'd just fall out. While they were pointing at things and telling people to do stuff. Anywho, so as I said, we're actually up in the Chrysler building here. They've got a nice view over to the Empire State Building. Wind howling, and apparently the wind did get up there. So there we go. Whee! So it goes even higher. Look, it's climbing up even higher. And but then this next bit is not actually in the Chrysler building, where he finds the nest, as you can see there. He finds a nest. There it is, with a big egg in it. This isn't in Chrysler building because it wasn't big enough for where they wanted it. This is actually in a police station in. I forgot what he said. It was a police station somewhere in New York, but I can't remember. In the parapet of this old police station somewhere. I can't remember where he said it was. Was it Harlem or somewhere like that? I can't remember. I've got a list of shooting locations here. Maybe it's here. By the way, where the woman was sunbathing under the roof before she got was 20 West 64th Street. And Neil Diamonds is on 181 Canal Street, Manhattan. No, it doesn't say. Where Quinn fled the scene of the robbery was Mott Street in Manhattan. But it doesn't say where this is. So it's a police station. It's a police station, but I don't know where. Can't remember. It wasn't Harlem. Can't remember. Where he's from? Don't know. Huge erection. Did this movie ever win an Oscar? I don't think it did. I don't think it even got nominated, mate. Oh dear. Anyway, finds a big egg. Right, so he's thinking, wow, there's a big egg, and he taps on it and thinks, ooh, crikey. So anyway, comes back down, and he decides he wants to have a wee. That's a look out, look. Decides he's going to have a wee, but instead of having a wee, he's about to have a wee, look. And a skeleton falls on him. Actually looks like it bites his shoulder, this this skeleton. Bite your shoulder. And it turns out it's the skeleton of the young lady we've just seen that was sunbathing. It's her skeleton. Almost picked clean. So he like say, his goodies away, pulls his zip up, and then goes back to examine, and then he sees she's got a bracelet on with little gold elephants and stuff on, but he can't get it off. So he's like, what's going on here? So he comes back down and leaves the building, and then we get a shot of pigeons eating the bits of meat on the skeleton. There we go. And apparently had the pigeon wrangler, Laddie Cohen says, we had a pigeon wrangler, came in, just plopped the pigeons down, and they all flew away, because they were all homing pigeons, so they just went back home. Job done. Right, next up, we're on a building site, or construction site, and this chap is angry, because somebody's stolen his lunch pail. So, and this fella's... he doth protest too much, you know, saying he's accusing him and all that. He doesn't accuse him, but it turns out it is him that's stolen his tuna sandwich. Anyway, so he's a bit cross. There you go, he finds his empty lunch box. But before he can, there we go, before he can complain to his workmates, he gets got. And there we see his helmet falls down. Apologies, the picture's not super great. It's the DVD rip. And then we get another view. Oh, we get a nice anime of the shadow of Q. A nice bit of animation of the shadow on the buildings, which is cool. Mo Lester says, have you ever seen the Oscar-nominated film One Guy, One Screwdriver? I think somebody's having a laugh. You know, I think somebody's having a laugh. Anywho, oh man, they find bits of that fella on the street. There we go. There we go. Right, David Carradine's gone to the museum where he's learning about Quetzalcoatl and, you know, human sacrifice and all that stuff. It turns out the sacrifice has to be willing. There we go, willing sacrifice to appease the god. So this is where we learn that. You know, the people that are dying, it's not murder because they're doing it willingly. So he says it could be classed as suicide, I suppose. Excuse me. He says, you know, it's all to appease the god Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent. And they've got another shot of somebody being skinned. There we go. So it gives him loads of books and all that stuff for him to do his research. So right, off he goes with his books. So he's at home now, looking at photos of Tehuacan and all these places in Mexico. And this is where we meet his wife in the film. Who is actually his wife in real life, and I've forgotten his name. Her name. Linda Gilbert. She is Shepard's wife in this, and in real life, at the time, she was David Carradine's wife. Do you think 9/11 was caused by Philip Schofield? Definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely. No way it was an inside job. It was Philip Schofield and Gordon the Gopher. Aided and abetted by Gordon the Gopher. Anyway, so there's looking at some Olmec heads. And so there we go. So a nice photo of the flayed man, just to remind us what he's detecting. And there's a production drawing, probably by Randall William Cook or something like that, of Q. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Although doesn't seem to have many feathers in this film, but never mind. So there we go. There. Anyway, so they have a snog. Right, he's gone home as Jimmy Quinn to Joan, and he's all dishevelled look, and she's asking, "Have you been mugged?" And he says, "No, we went on a job and it all went wrong, and I lost the diamonds." And he basically tells her what happened. And he went up in this building, and there were a big nest and all that stuff. I'm just going to ignore these chats that are coming in now, because they're just nonsense things that people are just saying. So, anyway, they shouldn't coddle Quetzal. Quetzal coddle. Anyway, so he's fed up, and he tells her to tells her to get him a drink, and she says, "Well, don't hit me this time," because obviously he's a knobhead basically who beats his girlfriend. Anyway, so this is where he's telling her about he's found the nest and stuff like that. So, and he's fed up and he wants to cry, but he's a man, so he's not supposed to cry. He's hurt because he got clipped by that taxi. So, anyway, he goes telling her about the nest. And he says, "I'll make you some, you have a sleep and I'll make you some nice bacon and eggs." And he says, "No eggs, I don't want to see another egg as long as I live." Right, then we're in a warehouse somewhere, and this chap's going to have his heart taken out because of all that stuff. So there we go, getting sliced open. We see him later on in the film do it all delicately with a scalpel, but in this case he's using a big massive dagger. He's doing a ritual chant as well. So then passage of time, next day probably, don't know, I imagine it's the next day. We're here under the I can tell you in a minute. Where is it? Empire Fulton Ferry State Park. That's where they are. 26 New Dock Street. That's where that is. They find the body of the fella that just had his heart cut out. There we go. Apparently, because in the commentary, there were Larry Cohen and there were another fella asking him questions, and he says that who did these bodies and stuff? Because obviously short pre-production times, who sorted all these bodies out? And he says, well, we just went to this company. At the time, we didn't order them beforehand. We just said we need a body that's like had his heart cut out, and they said they must have things all ready to go. So they just turned up and with this body made out of foam, I imagine, latex and all that stuff. So anyway, so they found him. Obviously David Carradine's thinking there's a connection between the monster that's killing people and whatever's going on with these ritual sacrifices. So that's what he's thinking now. And he actually does think that Quetzalcoatl, it's appeared now because these sacrifices are happening. So he's been prayed into existence, or it's been asleep for a long time. God knows where. Not up in the Chrysler building, I imagine, but asleep somewhere out of the way, and it's woken up and then come to New York for whatever reason. Because of all the temples, that's why. Anyway, so here we are with all the police. He's the chief of police, played by can't tell you. Malachi McCourt. He's the commissioner. And we also meet James Dixon, who plays Lieutenant Murray in a minute. He comes walking in a minute. There he is. So that it's basically go out and solve this case. So anyway, more helicopter shots of this fella. I reckon they just flew around because that he's a burly chap, isn't he, by the looks of him. Saw this chap pushing a trolley or something on this rooftop, and they thought, oh, we'll recreate that with a really skinny bloke. But we'll put him in the same colour clothes, even though he's got long sleeves there, but he's got short sleeves. Never mind, it doesn't matter. So he gets got. He gets got by Q, the Winged Serpent. There we go. We get another glimpse of the creature, of the beast. Right, so David Carradine's going to talk to another doctor. And he's telling him all about God and religion and all this stuff. He's the one that says, it's been prayed into existence, etc. Saying that plumed serpents were found all over the world, Egypt, Mexico, China, places like that. So maybe there were really creatures, they call them birds, that did exist, and but have become nearly extinct. Anyway, Larry Cohen filmed this here because he liked these patterns here. He thought they looked kind of, Aztec kind of patterns, so that's why he did that. He also wanted to film in locations where they were like, you got the impression that there were temples and stuff with all these pillars and all that jazz. He wanted to, iterate that there were. It came here because of all the temple-like buildings. It reminded it of, Central America. Why didn't it just go to Mexico? I don't know, to Teotihuacan, where there's all the pyramids there, but never mind, it didn't. It came to New York because the eating's good. The guy just pushed his sleeves up really fast when Q was coming for him. Well, yeah, probably. Ready to fight because he's a New Yorker, ready to fight the creature, wasn't he? Anyway, this bit here, I was expecting, that bit in Airplane where, I forgot his name now, Robert Stack takes his sunglasses off and he's got another pair of sunglasses on underneath. I always expected that to happen here. But it didn't. Right, so anyway, here the bad guys have arrived at Quinn's apartment. Was it Joan's apartment? I don't know, wherever Quinn lives. They're knocking on the door. I presume Joan's buggered off out somewhere. Probably at work. But obviously won't let him in. He says, I've got a gun and I'll use it. But obviously won't. So he climbs out the bathroom window. Here he goes. Down the fire escape. Actually, they found this fire escape. They were just driving around. And Larry Cohen said, I like that fire escape. That'll look cool. So they went in and they knocked on various doors, and eventually somebody said, yes, you can film him climbing out of my window and coming down the fire escape. So that's what they did, essentially. Michael Moriarty didn't know this ladder were going to drop as fast as it did, and it nearly took his hand off. It frightened him to death, as you'll see. Wow, bloody hell. So, all one take. Right, so he's off running. He's running away again. He's always running. But they catch up to him somehow. Oh, he runs past. Have I gone past him? There we go. Runs past some homeless fella, or maybe just a drunk. I don't know. But he's gone to sleep, taking his shoes off, because you always take your shoes off when you go to sleep, don't you? Even on the street. But anyway. But they catch up to him and beat him up a bit on the hood of a car. And there we go, $77,000 worth of diamonds were in that pouch. But he says, I lost it. I said, they don't believe you. By the way, their names in the film, I can tell you just a minute. Doyle and Webb. Yeah, of course it is. More like Santino and Estevez or something like that. If they're called Doyle and Webb, I'm guessing they're, aliases. Anyway, so eventually he said, okay, I'll show you where it is. I'll show you where the diamonds are. No, he's not a good fleer. So, there we go. He's going to tell him, show him where the diamonds are. That's what he's going to do. So up they go. Up to the Chrysler building again. Getting the money's worth out of their $18,000. Right, so here we go. This again. Mostly filmed in the Chrysler building. There's one shot that's a miniature, which if we come across it, I'll show it. The deal with the security guard, they just beat him up. There we go. He's out cold. So up they go. Sends them up the ladder. And I don't know how he knows, Q will be in there. But anyway, thankfully for Quinn, for Jimmy. Q is in there. So up he goes, the first one. And we hear a noise. I think we actually get a glimpse as well of the monster. We see. Oh, there we go. That's a miniature. That's a miniature of a hole in the roof. There we go. Then we see its eye. Gets him. We hear a crunch. And so he's laughing away and sends the other fella up. Oh, so he must be Webb then. The other fella were Doyle. Aren't they Harry Potter characters? Was it Goyle? Goyle, isn't it? Webb and Goyle. Anyway, whatever. So the other one goes up and he gets got as well. So there he goes, eat him! Being all giddy. And he says, it's not my fault. I didn't kill anybody. But, he did send them there. But there you go. I never killed anyone who didn't kill you. He did point them up there. Go up there. Did tell them there was a big monster there, did he? Anywho, right. And then we see the Chrysler building off in the distance. So they found this rooftop, a few blocks away from the Chrysler building with a pool. And this chap's bored watching this healthy young woman doing push-ups. So he's going to go for a swim instead. So he goes for a swim and then instantly gets got by Q, the Winged Serpent. It's big rubbery foot that they used twice in the film. Once here and once later on. But there we go. It picks him up and carries him off. There you go. Off he goes. There you go. And then we get his first good look at the monster. There we go. I say not many feathers for a feathered serpent. Right. All right. Then he's heading back home, is Jimmy, and then instantly gets arrested by a really happy policeman. So they take him in. Because this fella's obviously given a description. He's the security guard from the Chrysler building. So that's why they brought him in. Right. So while they're processing him, they're learning about other stuff. They got an APB out on a Doyle and a Webb. Obviously, Jimmy knows what's happened to them, but he don't tell them yet. Powell's telling him that they said it was your idea. You're the ringleader. Yeah, of course. As though the police would believe that. He's a small-time crook. No idea why the bird went after the guy that just jumped into the pool versus the basically stationary ladies. Don't know. Maybe it's like a shark and all the splashing about attracted it. I don't know. It just did. Maybe it had enough of. It just eaten two chaps. You'd think it'd alternate, wouldn't you? But anyway. So we're learning that Powell doesn't like Quinn, and Quinn doesn't like Powell. There we go. Kind of bit of racism going on here in this section of the film. Anyway. Right, so this is where we're learning now that lots of people have seen the monster now. They've seen Q. No, they grabbed Jimmy because Powell said he was the brains. I don't think Powell believes that Jimmy's the brains. I don't think so. They know he's a, small time, don't they? He's not setting up. I don't think they think he's setting up these heists. But I think Powell just wants to put him away, even if it's a bum rap, because that's mentioned later on. Anyway, it's where we learn from Lieutenant What's-His-Face that lots of people have seen the monster now. So there you go, guys snatched out of a pool and carried away. So everybody knows now it's a real thing. There's actually a monster in New York grabbing people, or a giant bird, or whatever, or a lizard, or a pterodactyl, or whatever it's supposed to be. And he's listening. He's Jimmy. He knows the score, doesn't he? Strike Powell, insert someone. Yeah, well, whatever. Right, so So they've got to work out what to do. Yes. And David Carradine, what's a shepherd, knows that he thinks it's the same case. He's telling them it's the same case with these ritual murders. Sorry. And the creature, but Powell doesn't see how that is. And the commissioner kind of agrees. He doesn't see, later on, he doesn't see how it's the same case, but it's just a coincidence. Anyway, they're talking about why it comes to New York, and he's saying it flies out of the sun, people are blinded, all that stuff. And then he says it's been prayed back into existence, and obviously nobody believes him. Right, so putting Jimmy in the cells. Nighttime, some nighttime shots, yeah. And Joan's gone to visit him, and he tells her that he's gonna tell him what he knows about, the creature, where it is, but for a price. And she's not happy. She says, if you know something, you've got to tell them, because people are dying and all that. And he says, well, he don't really care about all that. He's just in it for himself, essentially. She says, but she's despairing because he's not a bad man, but he's acting like greed has got the better of him. Anyway, so she ends up leaving. There you go. You got to do the decent thing, but he's not going to. He's not going to do the decent thing. More helicopter shots. Here's the shot of the Twin Towers. They were scared that they're in the helicopter, and the authorities were scared that they were going to fly through the middle of it, but they didn't. They didn't. We get a view of this building here, which we'll see again later on, which is one that looks most like a pyramid in the film. There we go. That. We see that later on as well. And we see, some of the buildings that look like temples and stuff, lots of pillars and all that jazz. This is why Quetzalcoatl is here. And there's David Carradine drawing not a great picture of it. Right. There's the commissioner. So they're bringing Quinn in. He's going to, offer his terms of it for his information about where the Q is in his holy temple, says Wingrace. Quinn's going to, tell him where it is, but for a price. And then he tells him that he found the body of a body where the beast is, and she had a gold bracelet on her wrist with little charms on, and apparently that wasn't released to the press that she had the charm bracelet on, so obviously they believe him. And there you go. And it wasn't released to the press. So that's how they know that he's seen that body at least. And they said, why didn't you take the bracelet? It was made of gold. He says, well, I don't mess about with dead bodies. Although he did try. did show him, fiddling with it. But he says it's one of those that you can't take off once you get it on. Even the monster couldn't get it off. Anyway, right. So this is where he's now going to say that he wants $1 million tax-free, and he wants all the rights to the monster and all the photos and book rights and the body itself, and he wants to sell it and rent it and all that. He wants to be rich. There you go. He's got his notes, and he wants a pardon for everything and everything. A Nixon-like pardon. Obviously, Powell's not interested in that and gets ejected from the room. But they eventually agree, and here he is, telling them that basically he wants to be rich, and they suggest that somebody died yesterday, and if he'd come forward sooner, he might not have died. And he says, well, no, I feel like a hero because I'm preventing tomorrow's death and the day after that death. So anyway, right, there we go. That's what he's saying. Anyway, they eventually throw out Sergeant Powell because Sergeant Powell wants to beat him up. I don't believe you're buying this garbage. So anyway, They're on about bum rapping him. Anyway, so they basically agree to Quinn's terms, $1 million tax-free and everything else. And 20 minutes to do all the paperwork, etc. He says his lawyer is outside. He'll sign everything. So David Carradine, Shepherd's going to buy him a coffee while they're waiting. So they go to this... obviously, there's not a cafeteria at the police station or wherever the hell they were. So they go to an actual restaurant. And this is where he says, I've met you before. I saw you playing piano in that other place. You told me to F off. Just as the waitress comes, and she's not impressed with him, with David Carradine. More racist lingo coming from Jimmy Quinn. He told him, a big 7 foot. Taught him piano when he were in prison. So, anyway, Shepherd's ears trying to get information out of him, doing this, this soft shoe sort of thing, trying to get information, and he's saying, what would you want us to do? You're in charge now. What would you want us to do? And he says, well, I'd get a fleet of helicopters with a big circus tent and drop it over the top of the building. He says, okay, well, which building? And he says, the building. I said, well, what's the top of it like? Is it's like a, and he's about to tell him, which building it is when Powell walks in. Oh, I forgot about that. The press arrive, they kick him out, but he say, no, take photos. I want Rupert Murdoch down here with his arm around me. Anyway, so says, get a big circus tent and to cover the top of the building. It says, well, which building is it? It says, the building. And but then Powell walks in and puts the mockers on it. And I was telling him about the egg. And he says, if you'd been a few seconds late, I'd have spilled my guts all over this table. But anyway, he says, Shepherd, give me 15 minutes alone with that. I'll get any information you want. But anyway, there you go. There's his $1 million. You think $1 million must be $1,000 bills or something? Maybe, I don't know. But in his briefcase. So they're gonna go now to the. This is the commissioner telling him, forget all this stuff about, Quetzalcoatl, Aztec god. They're not connected. It's just a monster bird. It's just a creature we can kill. There's no connection with the ritual murders. It's just a coincidence. Forget it. So all right then. So he's not happy about that. He's Shepherd, and he tears up his stuff in anger. Like that. Then more helicopter shots of the Chrysler building. It looks knackered, doesn't it, from outside? Anyway. So off they're going inside the Chrysler building, up the all piling into the elevator. You get an example of Michael Moriarty's 1,000-yard stare. Look, what am I focusing on? I don't know, nothing. Anyway, up they go in the elevator, and then up into the, I don't know what they call it, rotunda. I don't know what they call it. Up they go. And these coppers, these are actually New York policemen. They're off-duty New York policemen in the uniforms. So, up they go. But we're going to see some people outside in like gondolas outside with machine guns. They find one of the bodies with no head. Probably just reused that fella at the beginning. That one there, didn't they? And then they see the egg. They just shoot the egg, just blow it away. In a minute, is he going to shoot it now? There we go, shooting it like that. So, there's a baby Q in it, and it comes out, so they kill that as well, obviously. But then, Mother Q's going to come in a minute. They say, look, they didn't get the bird, they got the egg. And says, if you'd have got the big circus tent, that wouldn't have helped, would it? Anyway. Right, so... he comes to have a look, and he has one last go at him. Anyway, so they didn't get Q this time. They got the egg and the baby, and they've decided to come down. But he tries to tell him, the money, the agreement we had was for the mother, not the egg or the baby. So you're not getting anything. So he gets angry. And he gives him his money for the coffee, because Jimmy bought the coffee in the restaurant earlier on. Anyway, so he gives him that money. So he gets angry and he says, "Here, take this money and shove it up your stupid brain." Anyway, he goes, stick it up your stupid brain. Is that what he said? There we go. Your small little brain is angry. Meanwhile, an undercover cop dressed as a mime. Why isn't he using like a fake phone? He should be using like a fake phone. He's pretending to be a mime, shouldn't he? Anyway, you see one of the suspects entering somewhere. I think it's called the Liberty Warehouse, and it's got the Statue of Liberty on the roof, which is supposedly the model from which the actual Statue of Liberty was built. We'll see in a minute. Anyway, so I'm going to get another view of Q. Oh, we saw this. There's like a kite there. Again, when they were taking the helicopter footage, just somebody were flying a kite. So I thought that'd look cool, and the stick a bit of the Q flying by, which is super duper. Right, so off they go. They're going to follow these people, and they're going to end up at the Liberty Warehouse. If you're going to show us, there it is. There we are, the Liberty Warehouse, which is an actual place, and they were allowed to film there. They went in and filmed inside, and on the roof as well. And this is Bruce Carradine, who is David Carradine's one of David Carradine's other brothers. How many has he got? I couldn't think of Keith. There's others as well, isn't there? Anyway, he's going to lie down on this sacrificial altar, and but they're all going to go in. All the coppers are going to burst in, but he says it's cold. The lights will warm you up in a bit. So he's going to start cutting him open. Here he is. He used a scalpel this time. Don't use the massive sacrificial dagger. But he's using the scalpel this time. Cuts him open. Then says, "Drop that scalpel." But Bruce Carradine gets up. Hang on, I've missed it. Bruce Carradine gets up and and charges towards him. And he shoots him. And he goes, "He was coming for me. He was coming for me." Terrible acting in this film. So anyway, they run after the other fella, the high priest or whatever he is, who is making his escape across. He heads up to the roof, and bashes one of the cops with a crowbar. Another example of them just driving about. Hang on, I've missed it. I've gone too far. Let's go back again. When it shows it, there we go. They were just driving about again. Luckily, I had all the crew in the van, and they saw this spiral staircase. And he says, "Get the actors out, get them going up this staircase. That looks cool." It's a guerrilla filmmaking. Anyway, so they all end up on the roof of the Liberty Warehouse, and they kept nearly falling through. And anyway, we know it's the Liberty Warehouse because they can see the back of the Statue of Liberty from it in a minute. They're going to show us. Anyways, he's got away. Richard Ramsey gets attacked by that kite that we saw earlier on. See, connections. But, there you go, damn kite. But then Q's going to come, and the mime goes, and Richard Roundtree gets got by the big rubber claw. And it picks him up and carries him away, look. But then drops him. Look, it's dropped him. And so he'll be splattered somewhere, won't he, on the street. Anyway, night time now, look. Jimmy's angry that they've not given him any money, and I think she's leaving him now. I think She's had enough. She's had enough of him. You can tell with the look on her face. Candy Clark, I know her from, I know she's been in loads of stuff, but she was in Blue Thunder, wasn't she? And she was in the Blob remake. She's been in loads of other stuff as well. But that's what sticks out in my mind. Right, they're heading back up into the Chrysler building. This is where we see the men in gondolas in a minute. So they're all waiting, look. With their machine guns, it says in here somewhere what sort of machine guns they use. What sort of machine guns? Sci-Fi Quest were here, he'd tell us what they are. It's down here at the bottom somewhere. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. Where have I seen it? Does it matter? Not really. I can't bloody find it. I thought it were easy to find. Anyway, never mind. Right. Who cares? Right, so they're waiting for the monster to come back. It's coming back, squawking, says that fella, says Mario. Takes a glug of his Budweiser. For a bit of Dutch courage. Right, here. Got these chaps in gondolas, and they're not actually the policemen. They're not actually the off-duty policemen. They're steeplejacks that they hired to do this bit. But here comes the monster coming round. Oh, and by the way, the effects crew saying, you know, we can't use these, we can't include the monster in, you know, these helicopter shots because it's moving about. You know, they've got to be still for us to superimpose the monster in. And Larry Cohen says, "Of course you can. Get on with it." And they did. Obviously, they found out that they could do it. Anyway, so they're shooting away at the monster. And there's one of the steeplejacks outside. I think they're to use those because insurance, basically. But they taught them how to use these guns. They're actually firing, I presume they're firing blanks, but actually firing and, you know, cartridges are coming out of the machine guns. And they were landing in there's nets on the building, you know, in case things drop off the building. There's nets around it, and they're all, pardon me, dropping down. And also, a local news station didn't realise they were filming up on the Chrysler building. They thought it was some sort of attack. They came to the conclusion that somebody were firing shots at the United Nations building from the Chrysler building. And it were on the news and stuff like that. So that to, you know, make a statement, no, we're doing a film. Anyway, here comes the monster, but they're shooting at it. Look, with their tracers and all that jazz. And hang on, that shot is actually David Carradine in the top of the Chrysler building, 80 stories up. But I don't think. Hang on, is it? Where is it? There's one shot that isn't. That he said that's not. That's you know, somewhere else. I don't know where it is now. Never mind. So there it is. There he's shooting. All right, a nice animated fella. Not him. Coming there. He's a nice animated fella, and we're going to see his. Oh no, it's another one. We're going to see his Dick Jones arms. We see some Dick Jones arms in a bit. He's coming round again. It's hurt, look. It's hurt. Is it going to get another? It's going to get somebody. It's going to get this chap. Plucks him out and throws him. There we go. He's got the Dick Jones arms. Look there. I wonder if William Randall Cook did the Dick Jones puppet model, whatever, in RoboCop. Anyway, another one's going to get got. Like I say, I think the effects are pretty good in this for the time. That's in 1982, way before CG. Although 1982, Wrath of Khan, that had a bit of CG in it, didn't it? But never mind. Another Dick Jones chap heading down there. Anyway, they're shooting away. Look, it's getting pumped full of lead, like the 1976 King Kong. That got a pasting, didn't it? Poor Ronnie Cox. His real name and most famous role are both penis jokes. Pretty much. His most famous role, Captain Edward Jellicoe in Star Trek The Next Generation. Or that fella that was sitting behind the desk in Deep Blue Sea. I never understood that cameo. But anyway, never says a word in that, does he? So, off goes Q. The thing is flying away. But then he comes back again. This is a blue screen shot. This is a miniature. And obviously, an animated head. So they shoot it again. It flies off. It actually filmed the miniature. The blue screenshot. This blue screenshot here is actually filmed in Laddie Cohen's back garden. Just put a blue screen up and just filmed them two in front of it. It does the job. And look, it's not happy. Hang on, have I missed it? There we go. And it lands on that big pyramidal building. I don't know which building it is. I don't know, because I bet it's an insurance company or something like that. Probably. So it lands there, all injured. It's going to die now. Oh, poor Q. Look. Arr. And then it falls. Hang on, I've missed it. It's going to fall to its death. There, hang on. Here it goes. And hang on. It's in its death throes. There we go. Down it goes, just like King Kong off the Empire State Building. We never find out what happened to it. We don't see it on the ground. Presume it just splattered loads of people as it landed. But we don't know. That's basically the end of Q, the Winged Serpent. Here we see Jimmy in, I don't know, is he in a hotel or is he in his own apartment? I've no idea. Getting a visit from, I don't know why, getting a visit from the priest fella. Here he is, look. He's getting a visit from him. Picked by Larry Cohen because he thought he looked Mexican. Like he looked like an Aztec, he said. If you say so, Larry. Anyway, so he drags him in. So he wants Quinn to be his next sacrifice to Quetzalcoatl. I don't know how he knows about him, because I don't think he were on. Maybe he were on the news when all them reporters came in. Maybe he appeared briefly on the news. Maybe that's how he knows about him. But how he found him, don't know. So he wants Quinn to willingly give up his life, because of what he's done. And Quinn's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Go away. He says, no, you've got to do it willingly. And says, no, F you. But there we go. But Shepherd comes in and just shoots him in the back of the head. And even that's not enough to put him down, because he keeps getting up. Look, hang on a minute. There we go. Gets back up again, and he shoots him again, and he gets up again, and he shoots him again, and again, and again, and again, until he stops getting up. Anyway, so he says, go back to Joan, she's waiting for you. And says, no, she don't want to be with me. And he says, go on and live your life and all that stuff. Go get a job at blah, blah, blah. Says, I'm not afraid anymore. And yeah, whatever. All right, then he puts, he gets a do not disturb door sign off there. And they think, is he going to put it on the other one where the dead body is, saying do not disturb? But no, he puts it the other way around, saying, please make up room early. So that'll be nice when the maid arrives to find a man blown to, shot to death. I wouldn't say blown to death. You know what I mean? Blown away on the bed. Anyway. And then, I think that's the end of that. Yes, then we get another helicopter shot. Now, this building is, I've got it in my notes somewhere. It's the New York Cancer Hospital at 455 Central Park West. So there we go. And Laddie Cohen says this is exactly, they ripped this off exactly in Godzilla, because 1998 Godzilla ends just like. And is it the same building? I don't know, because it's a while since I've seen it. I'll have to have a look. I might even check now in a minute afterwards. Anyway, we get this. As you can see, it's in a state of disrepair. It's got a big hole in the roof, so which worked well. Because then they go down, and then we go into obviously, not the same building, probably a set or a miniature, probably a miniature in it. And then we see another egg. Another egg, and then the egg cracks open. Honest. There we go. Cracks open. Hear the screech, and that's the end of the film. There we go, and then we get the cast. Cool film. I like Q, the Winged Serpent. Sometimes just call Q. It's cool. I like it. I think it's great. But I'm going to look up that Godzilla now. So I'll just get rid of that a minute. And I'll make myself big. Just while I look for that. I thought Godzilla was under a stadium or something. Godzilla laid his eggs, didn't he, in Madison Square Garden, didn't he? But at the end, it ends like that, where they find there's another egg that they've not found. I've got to remember where I've put the bloody thing. Which folder are you in, Godzilla? I've got the Blu-ray over there, but I can't be bothered going looking for it. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. I bet I've not bloody got it now I'm saying this. It's there. Bloody first one I looked in. Right, let's check the end of Godzilla. Let's check the end of Godzilla, shall we? Hang on. Where are we? Come on. Oh no, I think it's just, no. It's just in the burning remains of Madison Square Garden. I'm looking now, yeah. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of another film. I'm thinking of another film that building might be in, or a similar building. Might be in The Howling. The Godzilla series that picked up from the film was actually pretty good. The cartoon thing, never watched it. Anyway, so there we go. That's the end of Q the Winged Serpent. Cool film. I really like Q the Winged Serpent. Give it a whirl. It's available on Blu-ray and DVD and all that jazz. Cool film. Right. Did I have any more little tidbits of information? I've said that. Writer-director Larry Cohen and David Carradine were old friends since serving in the army together, apparently. What else? I've said that. I've said that about David Carradine's brother. I think that's it. I've covered all my little notes that are highlighted. Right, so we'll leave it there. What's coming up next? What's coming up next? On Friday. Sunday, all being well, I'll be doing a sketch time on Sunday where I'll be drawing Christina Chong and her dog. So that's Sunday at 9 p.m. UK time. Then on Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, it's Deep Impact. Really good film. I like that. And then next Friday's appointment with is A Nightmare on Elm Street. The first one. Sorry, catching my microphone. So there we go. That's what's coming up. So thanks Wingrace and Joshua Kanapke and Josh Temple and all those other weird people and Dredge Tiger and all those weird people, P-Ness and etc. Just asking silly questions. All adds to the joy of live streaming. Make sure there's nothing on Rumble. No chats on Rumble. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thank you for all that. I'm sure I'll be around doing my gaming stream. I'm still doing Star Trek Resurgence at the minute. I think I might be getting near the end, but I'm not sure. But we'll see. And after that, I think I might do another Tomb Raider game. I think I might do Tomb Raider Legend, an older one. So that might be coming up. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. And until next time, don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll see you there.